Greetings RC fans, Sharky here and welcome back to Sharky's Garage. Today I'm out at Norwich at the EARCC. I'm just here because I'm dropping off some body shells. Don't know what footage I'm going to film today, don't know what I'm going to get, don't know what's the situation is, what's going on. It's been a while since I've been across here. Hopefully everyone's okay. Hopefully you like the content over the last few weeks. Don't forget to drop us something down in the comments section. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and stick the notification bell on so you get notifications as soon as I drop a video. And I'll stick together some clips for today, and hopefully you'll have something that's going to interest everybody. Anyway, I'll catch you all soon.
Three, two, one, four.
So, very different circuit to the two times I've been here before. But I was just talking to Scott, who does the RC bodies, Skim RC, saying to him, you know, it'd be lovely to see a old school touring car class. Lots going on. Let's have a walk round. I don't know what else I'm going to get footage wise today, but I want to get something for you. So you see you've got an interesting section in the middle here. This time you're going to see the chicane both ways on. Drive stand. Oh, that's new. New step for getting up to make it easier for the less sprightly. So I had a bit of a file error there. I don't know quite what happened. I'm having a few issues with it. Yeah, the blue one there is going really fast, coming down the end of the straight here. So I don't know quite what I'm going to get footage wise for you today. And a very different track layout. So I don't know where the last video clip cut out, because it kind of paused on my screen, and until I get it back on the editing computer I won't be able to see. But yeah, we've got lots of things going on. They've been running some front wheel drives today, so hopefully you're going to get a chance to talk to some of the drivers, talk about the cars, because some different cars, different body shells out, which is nice. We've even got some lorries over here, and we've got a step to make it easier to get up onto the front area. Look at these gorgeous things. Stunning. So yeah, not sure what else I'm going to get for you. Hopefully get you a load of nice footage. A very different course today to what I've seen here.
No improvement. 2 minutes.
I don't like the spills, so I'll take the spill out.
Last time, the last one you had a frame higher up
that's
round.
that one.
Is that one?
The TVU5 up, the TVU5R.
So is this
and
another
he's
one?
using the TVU5 Pro,
Yeah.
which is a really cheap chassis for what it is.
Yeah.
Works really well.
So that blue, is that Tamiya TX09?
No, it's 17, isn't it?
17.
That's the Vanny one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I quite like that colour, because blue's my colour. It's like seeing all your little blue bits in here, it's like, that's very, very me. So do you run at Rollesby as well? Because I know they've got a lot of Tammys out at Rollesby, just here.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely like paint job on that.
See, what I did was I actually bought a Tammy shell to go on it.
Yeah.
Let me show you. Oh, do you know what? Where is it?
So much stuff.
That was this one.
Oh yeah, that looks more sort of vipery and
That's the
Mercedes.
AMG
Mercedes, yeah.
And that is a genuine. That's a genuine Tammy shell.
Yeah.
So hence the hard plastic.
Yeah.
And all painted up there.
Yeah.
You know, everything's painted.
Yeah.
And I loved it so much. I thought I can't race that.
Yeah.
So we had to get another one of these.
But you put that together in a similar colour scheme.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's. I think that's going to be my colour scheme from now on.
Okay.
I don't know. I might change it.
So you running these today or not?
We ran them yesterday actually, but I bought them up just to show people.
Yeah. Ah, cool. Cool. Because I must admit, I noticed on the front wheel drive class they're running 5-spoke thingies as opposed to the sealed discs.
No, that's because if you're running race tyres, carpet tyres, they come pre-glued to white discs.
Right.
Whereas if you're like I'm running Tammy tyres,
yeah,
and you put them on whatever wheel you want, so yeah, they just happen to be those tyres. But they work all right, but they're not as grippy as these things.
Yeah.
But you want it to be a bit sort of towel happy, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bit of fun. Cool.
But the trick bit about that one, they'll come up with a really good idea for the body mount.
Right.
And that set me off, so I had to come up with a better idea. But I don't know whether it's better because Dars is really simple. But because that's got the side rails,
yeah,
he's run the body mounts. What is? What, the car? Take it outside.
ESC or motor?
Well, I think there's a battery in it.
It's hopefully not battery.
What he's done is he's run the body mounts. He's run the body mounts on the side rails.
Yeah.
So they come up on the side and they just clip there and there.
Yeah.
Normally what you do is you cut the back out.
Yeah.
So you can get to the body post. And what I've done...
You've got two little...
No, I haven't got body posts. I'm running right off the front wing.
Ah.
So I've got this device.
Yeah.
You just pull it and then lift off.
Oh. That.
He's an engineer, you see, so he's done it.
So that's what I've done.
Excellent.
So you
Smart.
literally just stick it on,
Back end
press
on.
the button, and that's it.
Yeah. Excellent. Right.
All right, these things.
So.
Obviously it's had the air racing conversion done to it.
Yeah. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. You can tell why that thing's flying in comparison, but it just burnt the motor up. Because you were pushing it too hard.
Yeah.
But, you know, it will be back. So, they've got a couple of different things going on today. They're running a lot of them on 17.5 ton as opposed to 13.5 ton. And here we've got, these are front wheel drives. So we've got some very different chassis. Gorgeous Coca-Cola one, painted one there for front wheel drive chassis. So it's all very, very different. And hoping to talk to the guys and spice all this together. Hopefully you'll find it interesting. So they run different things at different times of the year. The running with the 17.5 turns is because there's a competition tournament coming up at one of the other clubs that a lot of the guys are going to go to, so it's getting them more used to running on the 17.5 turn as opposed to the 13.5 turn. this red one's Coca-Cola thing is absolutely stunning. $11.38. So this is running front wheel drive.
This is front wheel drive. So we've got.
Is that unlimited on tyres?
It's limited on these ones. So yeah, we have to have these tyres for EWS.
Yep.
Might as well bring in this as well, because this is basically a four-wheel drive chassis that's had a torpine conversion on it to make it front wheel drive. So hidden underneath the front bumper there is 65 grams of brass. Next door to it is a front wheel drive FF, so the motor goes in there
to give you the weight over the front.
And then obviously the four-wheel drive bearing as well. So I always get that one out of the way now. And that one. So essentially, yeah, you can just literally take the rear belt off and run it like that if you really wanted to.
But you need the extra weight at the front.
You need the extra weight at the front for
traction
for the traction.
Which is why the difference with the tyres from these ones to the four-wheel drive tyres that have got absolutely no.
That's it, slicks on those. So yeah. I mean, even between the two front-wheel drives, they've even got different wheels on there as well. But same tyre, I think. So so that's really the main difference. And then obviously against your front wheel drive versus your four wheel drive chassis shells, you end up with shells that look more like what you would expect to see at the British touring cars. So we've got
the yellow one, which is your front wheel drive, and then
Civic, and then the other one underneath it is a DBX.
Four-wheel drive chassis.
Four-wheel drive chassis, Zoo Racing DBX shell. The other one is a bit designed HCF, I think it is.
So sort of Civic, but not Civic, but Civic.
Yeah, it's a not Civic, but it is a Civic.
It's cool. It's cool.
So, yeah.
And I noticed there's a couple of people running that shell, so I'm guessing that's kind of a performer for front wheel.
It's a good one. I know Mark is actually running the Toyota Yaris.
Right.
So, Mark's down the far end. The shell that seems.
Is that the Coca-Cola one?
That is, yes.
It's a gorgeous paint job on it.
It is. It's a shame I haven't got my EWS shell, because that's going to be a Toyota Corolla, basically.
Cool. Do you paint yourself, or do you have somebody else paint for you?
Somebody to paint it for me. I'm just waiting on that to turn up. So it was going to go with the Gensters look, but he's gone. This is going to take a little bit longer than what I needed it for. So we've toned it down slightly.
Cool.
Obviously, one of the other things I haven't mentioned is that the diff oil for your four-wheel drive is 4,000, 5,000, maybe even up to 7,000. Whereas for your front-wheel drive, you're looking at 500,000. It's a 500,000 weight oil.
So it's a lot thing to lock it up a lot more because of the tension with the steering and all the rest of it.
Yep, that is exactly it.
But again, that's a mistake that somebody who's coming into something like that can easily make is running the wrong weight of oil, and they're wondering why they're not performing.
This morning I put in I'd done another diff, which was, as you see, the tip dots.
Yeah.
It was running 300,000.
Yeah.
Just to see what the difference was.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just wasn't. It was turning to the back end was stepping out too much, too quickly. So yeah, it's swapped it over and running a lot better now.
Savox servos?
Yes, Savox. I mean, personally, I actually run them all the way through. So everything I've got, you got hobby ring just stock, and just stock EARCC, which is
programmable brushless.
Programmable, but these are fixed timing ones.
Oh, right, okay.
So this is for the class that we're running. It has to be exactly that. So yeah.
An interesting way to mount the body posts on the rear, sort of hooking it on sort of tailpipe size.
Because the body shell is a lot higher at the top. Yeah. You'd need very long body posts at the back to reach the body shell. So hence why they put it in the back.
Cool.
Whereas obviously with your touring car one, it's a lot lower.
Lots
so
standard.
You can then stand them up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. Cool. How much more prep have you got to do before the next time you're back out?
Just trying to work out sort my lift off oversteer on it, which I think I've found what I need to do.
Cool.
It's just whether I get time to do it.
Batteries on charge?
Yeah, battery's actually charged, so yeah, that's
excellent.
Done.
Cool.
So yeah, it's just sorting out these small little tweaks on the setup to get it to do what we want it to do.
Exactly. Well, thanks very much for spending the time talking to me.
Right.
Very appreciate it.
Excellent, thank you.
Lovely Mondeo body. And that's a Schumacher shell?
No, that's an HPI.
All right.
Got it through L&L model.
Yeah.
So this is a Schumacher Mission.
Right.
Front wheel drive. So this can be converted quite easily by adding a different type of pulley and a new dip in the rear.
Yep.
So you can actually run it forward drive or two wheel drive.
Okay, cool.
So that's more at the budget end of the front wheel drive cars.
So that's quick run 10.
That's just a basic quick run speed controller.
Yep.
Tech-in motor. It's not BRCA legal kit because it's just my little girl that's running around with it at the minute. But it's just to get her involved in the hobby. She's been following her brother and herself around for years, and then she decided she wants to do it. I know it is.
Yeah.
So obviously the only things we changed on these is because the shocks are not very good that come with the kit.
Right.
So we upgrade the shocks.
Yep.
So that's a Mission. That's the basic Schumacher one.
Schumacher Mission.
Yeah.
Cool.
So then, pride and joy. You won't see another one of these out there because another one doesn't exist.
Okay.
This was built specially by a guy who builds carbon fibre. So this is placed around an MI7, which is basically that one down there.
Yep.
Bit missing, but that's a front wheel drive. But that's a custom built chassis.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's awesome to drive. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But there isn't another one in the country, so you can't race at a sanctioned meeting.
Yeah.
So, but it is a gorgeous car.
Cool.
But like I say, you can pick those up quite cheaply. The MI7s, you can pick them up quite cheap. But four-wheel drive is probably your best one to go for because there's more of them about.
Yep.
Front-wheel drive is still a bit niche.
Yeah, and then front-wheel drive, you have to up the diff oil, don't you?
Yes, yeah. Some people are running million, some are running this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
You know, it's because obviously it's a trade. It is a trade-off because you don't want too much wheel spin. Yeah. But also you don't want too much weight up the front. Yeah. So you want to run it 60-40. So 60% of the weight is at the front, 40% at the back. Yeah. But it's a trade-off. Yeah. When you race outdoors with these, this is set quite high so that when it hits the curbs it doesn't unsettle. It's very much like a real touring car. If you watch a real touring car, they
bounce the curbs quite regularly.
This bounces quite nicely around the curb. If you race this at Coastal. And this is the only formula he can't beat me in.
Cool.
So, but yeah, that is my.
And I love the more classic touring car body shells.
Unfortunately, this one isn't legal either.
What, the body shell's not legal?
The body shell's to be a certain height.
Oh right.
So it has to be, obviously, so you don't gain an aerodynamic advantage. So the point from there to there is measured, and these don't sit within the BRCA rules.
Right, okay.
So, and there's all sorts of things if you go to a sanctioned meeting, like lists of body shells you can use, lists of motors you can't use, and it just gets to the stage where you could
take away the fun elements.
It takes away the fun elements, but it also, you're trying to keep the cars as competitive and as close as possible.
Which is why you find that a lot of people are running the same body shells, because they're the most competitive body shells.
Exactly, and you're not going to gain masses by running something different, which is
it's why I was talking to the chap just there, Mark, is it?
Mark Burgess,
and he was talking about the Iconic.
Yes.
So that might be something that I might.
Yeah, that's all Tamiya. I've known Mark for 30 years. So we used to race off-road together back in the day.
Fresh battery. So you just come off Marshall and you just raced it. And now it's all pulled down and sort out ready for that, because you've got what, 20 minutes, half an hour before you back.
Yeah, about 21 minutes.
So, you've been doing this a while, Mark?
I have, started in the 80s. So I've been racing. Started with off-road and been racing on-road now for many, many years. So.
I must admit, seeing your car go around the Coca-Cola colour scheme, it's like, it stands out, and I suppose anybody seeing that will know that it's you.
They will. I've borrowed it from another racer. There's a chap I used to race with who passed away, unfortunately, and I'm racing it kind of in tribute to him. So I've done a couple of Coca-Cola shells because he always raced for Coca-Cola colours, so it's in tribute to him.
Cool. So,
it's a lovely shell.
And front wheel drive?
Yes, Yeah, so motor's in the middle. Belt to the front. We run control, they ride tyres, so they've got some tread in them and a little bit softer. And frankly, as you can see from this set, they'll run till they're much, much bolder. And we've actually got some that have got no tread at all, and they still give some grip. So
good.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Cool. So 17.5 turn motors, is that today specific, or is that?
So this is for a series that we're running in Essex over winter. They're running to what it's this year's BRCA electric, so it's a control speed controller with a rev limit, and it's a cheap hobby wing 17.5.
Right.
Which is completely fit, so there's nothing
you can't
you can
program
do to
it, you can't change it, you can't.
No, so that's kind of set. There's no advance you can put on it. It's just as it is. And you can change the gearing, but beyond that, it's
are they specifying your battery, your C rating on the batteries and stuff like that? Because I've heard conversations with people when they talk about the punch and stuff with your C ratings on batteries. Because I know you're all running, what, 2S lipos?
We are running 2S lipos. In front-wheel drive, we always run a shorty because we want the weight as low and as
far forward,
as light as possible. I mean, this is an ultra-low pack, which weighs very, very little. So it's deliberately there because this car is, with all the bits and pieces in it, it's fairly close to the weight limit, and that battery gets it just about where it needs to be. So it means I can add a little bit of weight to it. So there's little bits of weight right here, there's a bit of weight in the bumper, there's some out in there, but that's, you feel that's hardly anything to it.
No, because I must admit, I've had a little bit of a problem at one of the crawler comps. I managed to get hold of some very nice batteries from CMHL. I got 2 of them, but they were 100C running on a crawler, in a crawler comp. And I wanted to give it a little hop, and it went a little bit further than.
You can pay a lot of money for batteries. These are reasonably priced as a make, but I was more about getting something I could charge at a rate based on the controls, and also something that would light as well. And these fit the bill.
Cool.
I also run 5mm connectors, so it kind of has to be that size.
Yeah, I got given some batteries. I think they've either got 3 or 5mm on.
Yeah, you get either 4 or 5, and these are
4 or
5,
5s.
and I've been running 5 for a while. So.
Yeah. Now, how long does it take you to charge a battery in between? Because
not much. I mean, I'm only putting 1300 milliamps in, so it takes about 15 minutes. I'm not discharging them in a club meeting. You haven't really got time to discharge and charge, so I discharged them, and yeah, that says 15 minutes for the last set, and that was a full run. So.
Cool. Right, well, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to me. I'll let you get on to doing all of your tunes and tweaks. Thanks very much, Mark. Well, folks, I'm going to call that about it for today. I don't know exactly how much I've got, but I've talked to a load of people. We've still got loads of rigs. There's a load of stuff going on. They're going to run these in the lunchtime break. You can see that they're out there racing at the moment. As I say, I've talked to a few of the guys here, talked to some of the front wheel drives, and so again, a bit different. Everybody's having a lot of fun here. It's an amazing venue, it's an amazing club, they do an amazing job. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to do the usual things, and I will catch you all again soon.